Next, now that the Canadians have decided that they don't want to pay for the security of Harry and Meghan, all coming up right after this. Hi, I'm Neil Sean and welcome Prince, because now he simply wants to be called just Harry. All that coming up on The Royal Family with me, Neil Sean. So Prince Harry arrived in town. It's the first we've seen of him for almost over a month. He looks the same. He arrived at Edinburgh Waverley Station after travelling up on a train, the LNER from King's Cross, first class naturally, along with his Royal Protection officers. Now, he was here because he was speaking at an event which was all about eco-travel and how, of course, we should all be looking to the ways that we travel in the future. Now, the speech was very, very welcomed by many people there. I think more people were actually really excited just to see Prince Harry return. But then he dropped, of course, his bombshell. He didn't want to be introduced as the Duke of Sussex or His Royal Highness Prince Harry. He said, just simply call me Harry. Now, while a lot of fans have embraced this, many other fans think it's rather strange to see a member of the British royal family dropping his title so dramatically. But as we know, in less than a month, he will soon be removed from Buckingham Palace with his own office and, of course, only simply be known then as a former member of the British royal family. How's this gone down? Well, not too well with many, but let me know what you think on the comments below. So finally, there's some good news for His Royal Highness the Duke of York, otherwise known as Prince Andrew. If you want to know what it is, keep watching this show. It's coming up shortly. So one of the biggest media events of 2019 was that now infamous interview with BBC Newsnight, where Prince Andrew decided to sit down in Buckingham Palace and reveal all about his unfortunate friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, the US businessman. But there was one element of that particular story that really struck a chord with many people here in the UK. Because you will recall that Prince Andrew said he couldn't have possibly been at a certain area where they said he was because he was simply actually doing something that he didn't normally do, and that was eat pizza at a now famous Pizza Express in Woking. Now, prior to that, the company had been actually worried about profits and possibly maybe having to close some restaurants. But thanks to Prince Andrew and the worldwide press that the company received, they've just released new profits and basically are saying, well, it's thanks to an upsurge in people logging on, looking at them on social media and now revisiting their restaurants with a nostalgic feel, because so many did prior to Prince Andrew mentioning it. So finally, we can thank Prince Andrew for finding some good out of a bad interview. Now, lots of people were shocked when Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, decided to step back from her royal life, but none more so than the charities that she'd been given and bestowed upon by Her Majesty the Queen. And one of those charities, the National Theatre, was very worried indeed. Now, the National Theatre is a treasure amongst theatre goers. It was opened, of course, and first run by the legendary actor Sir Laurence Olivier. Now, the Queen, of course, thought Meghan would love this, being a former actress herself, albeit just on a cable TV show. Now, the National Theatre are still wanting to find out whether Meghan will become involved and will see some productions and possibly guide some younger students. But so far, they have no idea. However, a very famous theatrical owner, Nika Burns, who owns NIMAX Theatres, said that she hopes too Meghan will stick it out, but if she's not going to apply herself and be a half in, half out sort of a charity associate, then she should step back and let someone else come forward. We'll only know within the next 2 weeks whether Meghan's decided to stick with the National or in fact close the curtain for good. Now, we're outside New Scotland Yard, it's of course the home of the British Metropolitan Police. And there's a new story now breaking because Harry and Meghan, who want to be totally independent, have always been told, have also just been told by the Canadians that they no longer want to pay for their security. And this is where it gets rather interesting because the funds have to come from somewhere, whether it be the British taxpayer or of course the private funds of the royal family. Now, a former Chief Protection Officer of the late great Princess Diana, Ken Worf, told me that there are no greater security people than that of the Met Police, and he should know. He looked after Diana for many years. A lot of people though are wondering, where will the funds come from? There's a bit of an uproar over here in England because the British taxpayer simply doesn't want to fund royals who are not working and representing, of course, the British people. The money could come from His Royal Highness Prince Charles, but even he doesn't have a bottomless pit. And the fear is that once that money runs out, will Harry and Meghan decide to employ perhaps the same security team as their friends George Clooney, or maybe even the Beckhams? And that really does pose a huge security problem. For now, here at New Scotland Yard, these people are wondering who will be next to look after Harry and Meghan for the remaining time that they're under contract while out in Canada. Now on this show we like to debunk myths, and one of the myths is this week that Meghan and Harry were about to become part of the reality TV fraternity. That's not true. You may have seen this particular story which said that Harry and Meghan were looking for an LA pad, and more importantly they were keen to buy this former mansion that was rented part owned by Kylie Jenner, she of the Kardashians fame. It was a clever marketing move by the people who put the property on the market and wanted to align themselves with a bit of royal stardust. But for now, Harry and Meghan have got no firm plans to move to LA. They're simply looking around and may stay with friends to decide if this is really a place that they want to base themselves. Remember, this particular deal only lasts a year before they have to make a decision if they want to return to the royal fold or indeed wave goodbye and maybe even join the reality TV famesters. Now, while lots of the minor royals of course like to create headlines and make sure they're in the press and the papers, that's not the case with our gracious Queen Elizabeth. Earlier this week, she popped along to one of the most famous and secret buildings in the world, MI5 in London. Now, we know that the Queen, well, enjoys a good thriller or two, and you could even say at one point she'd been a Bond girl. After all, who could forget that wonderful cameo in the 2012 Olympics opening ceremony where she met the one and only James Bond? Well, this time though, she decided to keep it secret, or should I say they did, and the Queen had a look around the private museum and some of the wonderful artefacts that are stored in MI5. She thanked the personnel there for looking after us here in the United Kingdom, and of course many people around the world too, proving you don't always need to make a headline to get your point across and of course cheer the nation up. I hope you've enjoyed our short film all about the British royal family and enjoyed us telling you our side here from London of the events that have shaped the last 7 days. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to like and share, tell all your friends about it. Until next time, do enjoy looking out for our wonderful British royal family. I'm Neil Sean, I'll see you soon. Ow.